man, and we do a lot of workouts. We do a lot of things where we really push him, and they were at that tipping point, and you could see that other guy wasn't sure, and he came to us. So good for him. So we gotta come out and punch a guy in the mouth sooner and then more often, and that's what they did. So like I said, give those guys credit because they came out and they punched, and then they punched again, and they were very aggressive. They worked to score points, and when they got to positions, they scored for the most part. So that's the difference between being the team that's trying to get there and being the team that's there already.
How's 157 going to pan out for you guys?
I don't know. It's a long season. It's a long season. You know, we're going to have a lot more opportunities to see where things kind of where they land. You know, certainly not going to, I guess, go start digging a hole for myself right now. You know, I mean, it's a hell of a long season. To me, it's for these young guys, and some of these guys haven't lost a whole lot. You know, how do they respond to that? Do they kind of take it and move forward with it and go to another level, or do we kind of put our head down? It's not how I was raised. That's not how we coach. That's not how we look at ourselves as a team. We're not going to define ourselves by one match or just being our wins and losses. It's kind of how you compete, and at least the back end guys did compete. I thought they competed hard. They gave themselves opportunities. You got to at least give yourself an opportunity. But I know guys are gonna. I mean, there's probably gonna be a count. If they had a drinking game with this right now, with how many times I said expected to win and hoping to win, then some guys would be getting drunk right now. So I know, like I said, I'm getting repetitive, but that's the big thing that I saw. Those guys stepped out there and they believe that they're one of the best teams in the country, and our guys, they weren't sure yet.
How do you get to that point?
You know what? I've asked a lot of coaches. I've asked some pretty good coaches that have had a lot of experience in kind of what they go back to is you got to beat a good guy. You got to beat somebody that you think is good. So Lujan, that match where you can put that guy away, I mean, that all of a sudden elevates you. Okay, I am one of the best guys in the country. I'm not kind of thinking that I am and hoping that I am, and the coaches are telling me that I am. I know I am because I beat the guy, and in close. I think, man, to me, that's a point where you got a guy at a tipping point. And we talk about pulling him to deep water or whatever you want to call it, and he had him there, and we got to be the one that punches first. We got to be the one that attacks first. I'll give guys credit, man. When it's due to somebody, I give them credit. But we certainly don't concede anything, and our guys got to learn to not concede or put their head down or give something to somebody because they have a number beside their name, because the number has to be earned every time. It doesn't matter. Guys got to understand that. I tell you what, if I was a young guy, if I was the guy that didn't get to wrestle, I'd be pretty pissed off. And you know what? And so I put some on them too. They got to do it in the practice room more too. So it's a whole group 1 through 35. It's not just the 10 guys that were out there. So I'm gonna prod them a little bit, but obviously Virginia Tech's a good team. So.
Let's separate Foster and Hirschlag right now.
Just Foster dinged up a little bit too. I mean, you got to take everything into account. I think no one's really separated themselves either from that spot. I think they're both close. I saw some good flashes out of Hirschlag. He got a couple scores. He finished at the end, but some horsepower things, and then changing over on bottom, being able to create motion, and that's, like I said, just I think when you get manned a little bit, or you let yourself get manned a little bit, then your mind's not in the right frame. The frame of mind's not right because you're not sure. And when you're unsure and uncertain when you step out there, it makes it really hard. It makes it really hard to win and make sure you get your hand raised. But I can tell you there's a couple guys that at least are going to remember that guy for the next time they wrestle, and we didn't have that enough. We need to have that across the board. So no matter what, you had to scrap I'll go back to Lujan or at least to Hirschlag. Those guys, at least they'll remember when they have to step out there next time, they're going to be like, oh shit, I'm going to be in for a war. I'm going to have to come to scrap, and I'm going to have to strap up real nice and tight. And we got to have more guys do that.
I haven't had a chance to ask you about Cooper Moore. How did the injury happen, and what's the...
Just practice. I mean, practice a freak thing. Got a cradle locked up, his elbow slipped off, his elbow hit the mat, and something tore, so I don't know what I would say than some bad, you want to say bad luck. I mean, some people don't believe in that, but it's a position that they don't know how the heck that happened, but it happens, And the good thing is, he's on the bench. He's still there for the team. He's still a leader on our team, even if he can't be out there. And he's the guy right now that's having to watch. So some of our guys that are getting to get out there, they got to understand that what an incredible opportunity is, and it can be taken away from you like that, and really go make the most of it and enjoy it, and not the weight of the damn world's on you when you step out there. And that's what I thought some of those guys. It's like the weight of the world's on me because I have to go perform instead of, man, I get an opportunity to perform, and I love it. Soak it up, and that's what I want to see more of.
Team done. Does he have any chance to come back? Or
I never say never. I'm not a guy. I will never write a guy off because you don't know what can happen. There are miracles. Things happen. So you know what? I'm just not a coach, and if I start doing that, then I think I'll go away from really truly believing in my guys. I don't ever write a guy off. I never will. And so I'm not writing him off that he's done for the season. But he's got a significant injury that's going to have to get some surgery, and we'll see where it goes from there.
What did Albert hit?
Just headlock. He kind of does a head pinch, headlock, and feet go over, and he came out. That was a big for us just to go get some bonus points. And really get the crowd into it, and he was pointing at he was pointing at JJ. JJ, his dad just passed away yesterday morning. And he wanted to be here for the team. So that's to me that shows a lot about what kind of kid he is and what kind of team that we have. That when I'm going to be here for my guys, this is my family. So it's a heavy heart. It's a heavy heart for him and for us. But I love that he still strapped up and stepped out there for his team. So love him, and I know he's hurting right now, not only just from a match, but from something way more bigger and obviously more important. So I know all our guys appreciated him going out there and strapping up for us, and make sure that he knows, and we keep telling him, man, we love him, and I know it's not an easy thing to do. We wouldn't have blamed him if he wouldn't have done it. So not giving him any excuse, I'll tell you that. And he doesn't want one, but I think sometimes guys got to know, guys pointing, he's excited, but he did it for his teammate. And that, to me, I think it shows a little bit about what our team's about, man. When you're doing it for someone else, something bigger than you. So I was proud of that.
When you go back to the drawing board or the training room at 25, what kind of things do you want to address in that matchup there?
I mean, you got to build up on a single, he got in deep a few times, but just held and waited. You can see there's some uncertainty there, some hesitation, and we got to knock out that hesitation. And sometimes you got to get them out there to know that there's still that hesitation, or they got to get out there to understand that they're still okay, because if you've been injured before as an injured athlete, even though you're coming back from it, even though you're healthy and you feel like there still can be something in the back of your mind. So you got to be able to knock that thing out of it. And I saw some points in the back points. I think the back points, going from 2-1 to 4-1, I think, change thing, but it doesn't matter. You still got to go get the next score. But I do think that there was not panic there, but okay, now 4-1. And I don't know if it's a 2 count or not, but it was, and they put him on the board. So he's got to be able to go get back to offense. That's the biggest thing that I saw. We didn't work. Across the board, we didn't work to put a guy back down. The guy got up to his feet, and then we let him go. We work on mat return and stuff all the time, and then us, we need to change over. We got to go through motion on bottom. So you're kind of getting asked when I go back to the drawing board. I think about the whole team. I'm not just thinking about one guy, but those are some glaring things that have to happen. But
74, the takedown at the end of the second period, you looked like you wanted to challenge.
He had his locked hands. His hands were locked the whole time. He gave 2, and he had his locked hands. And then, but I went over and he asked, and then I went back, and then I came back. But he said that I went back to the bench. I can't go back to the bench. Okay. But I also, I'm looking at that guy, and his tongue's hanging out a little bit, So I'm thinking, do we want to take that? Do I want to take that? Probably should have. That's on my part. But he had given 2, and he still had his hands locked. It was clear as day. I'm not 100% sure what he's looking at, but it was very clear. Obviously, if you know that he's got his hand, if you give up the 2, and you're looking there. But that's me. I should have definitely challenged it, and it should have been a point depending on the angle of the camera. But I'll put that on me. I can't be indecisive. I got to decide and go do it.